Hello, my friends. I hope you're having a slow and magical day. I recently asked you if you had any questions for me about slow living and life in France, and I wanted to be sure to answer all of them. So here's a Q&A from Alsace, France. Here we go. The first question is from Lily of Norway, and she asked, what are the biggest differences in living slowly in the US and Europe, if there are any? Is one more preferable? I would say that a slower life is slightly more accessible here in Europe than it is in America, because the systems and structures within the European government allow for more time and space to enjoy life's pleasures. This isn't to say that Europeans don't work as hard as Americans, or that they don't work long hours, but perhaps they chase something different. While I can't say for certain about slow living in Europe as a whole, I can say that in France, adopting a slower pace of life and prioritizing life over work is more common and accepted, and thus easier. For example, taking the month of August to travel or be with family isn't typical while working a traditional 9-to-5 job in the United States. But here in France, it's expected that your shop or restaurant will close down for the entirety of the month, that you won't answer to calls on Sundays, and that you will leave work right on time at 5. Taxes are high, but work is more collegial and fair. There's a level of fairness in European work environments than there is in the US. And in Europe, it feels like we're working as a collective rather than working as an individual. I believe this socialist foundation in Europe not only allows people to live more slowly, but also be more comfortable and accustomed to enjoyment and the pursuit of pleasure. The Art of Nature Germany asked, if you had the chance to write 3 of your personal wisdoms on a paper to be remained for posterity, what would it be? I would say the first would be, there is beauty in simplicity. When we place our focus on seeing the world with a heightened sense of beauty in the ordinary, of noticing the small joys and quiet delights of our everyday, we naturally will hold more appreciation in our hearts, and then an increased overall level of happiness and personal fulfillment. So the first would be notice the simple joys. The second is to remember that each of us individually sees the world through a filter of our own past memories, experiences, thoughts, and beliefs. One's experience or perception of a situation will not be exactly like yours because your pasts are different from one another. Knowing that, we can come from a more compassionate place of acceptance and understanding for others who perhaps project their pain onto us. Everything can be seen through our own filter, our own lens of perception of this reality. It's much easier not to take things so seriously. And third, we are sitting on a tiny floating blue ball surrounded by infinite space. Have fun. This life is so short. Remember to find time to be playful and indulge heavily in whimsical, light-hearted laughter while you're here. Let's continue with the questions. Let me pull them up. Oh, hi Elena, the Art of Nature Germany. She's an amazing YouTube channel all about nature, so definitely check out your YouTube channel. She's based in Bavaria, Germany. So hey Elena. She says, how did you and your husband meet? I'm always a fan of a cute love story. Oh, yay. So my husband and I met actually on OkCupid back in December of 2014. I had been dating for like 5 or 6 months in New York City, and I was so tired of dating. I was so tired of meeting people that I thought we had a connection, and they were just in it for like the casual hookup culture, and they weren't interested in something serious. And you know, since I was young and in high school, I've always been a romantic, and I always wanted to find my person. But after dating for a lot in New York, I became really bitter about love and relationships and dating, and I really started to believe that it didn't exist, marriage didn't exist, like love didn't exist, like true long-lasting love. And
I met Alex on OkCupid. I was literally at the end of my rope. I was done dating. I was tired of meeting guys. I literally surrendered, and I was like, I give up. I am fine with being alone forever, being single forever, never finding my love, my true love, and I gave up. And when I did, I remember it was like a few days before New Year's Eve, and I went on OkCupid on the app, and I was just swiping. I don't know why, it just automatically, I just did it. I really believe it was intuition or something guiding me. And I was swiping and I saw his face and I just knew. I knew, like it was, oh, you're such a cute dog, hello. Hello, baby. So cute. When I saw his face, I knew in my gut, like I literally heard a voice in like my higher self saying, I have to meet this guy. I don't care what I have to do. I don't care how many messages I have to send this guy. I have to meet him. I have to. Like it was this very like urgency behind it. And I had never felt that feeling with any other guy that I had been swiping out on the dating apps. I really believe it was my intuition or my higher self guiding me to him. And he was really sweet. He sent me long messages, which on dating apps, usually guys will send like really short, generic messages, but Alex sent me long, detailed messages specifically talking about the things that I put on my profile. I had a very long profile with a lot of details, and he referenced it. He put like roomy quotes in his message, and it actually took us 6 or 7 dates to have our first kiss and actually to get that electric spark. Which is really interesting, and I write a lot about it on my blog. If you want to check out Alex and my love story, you can head to my blog, just search the personal category tab, and you'll find all my blog posts about our marriage and, you know, our dating story and what I learned about giving people a chance and how to get out of the friend zone, because we were in there for like 7 dates and I didn't think it was going anywhere, and then it was just like magical, electric, and to this day he is my soulmate. He's the most wonderful person in my life, and I'm really grateful. Candace Shaw, best friend from college. Hey girl. She asks, what are your favorite food places in France? The Brasserie has the best tarte flambée you can get, especially if you're vegetarian. And then in Lyon, Danielle and Denise was the best restaurant I've ever been to in terms of French cuisine. So if you're ever in France, definitely check out Lyon. What does the brainstorming process look like when you're trying to come up with new ideas and content for your videos? I think it's important to note that I'm also new to the slow living lifestyle. I just got started doing this 2 years ago, learning and living a slower life, and so a big part of that has been me just experiencing it and making mistakes and sharing the journey with you guys. You know, I'm still new at this, and so I try to think about someone who's starting slow living as I was 2 years ago. What were the questions that I had? What was the misconceptions that I had? Why was I afraid to start living slowly? What were the blocks? And how can I release those blocks? I also look at comments and questions that you guys have in the comments on my videos, and I make videos based on your suggestions and what you guys want to hear. So definitely feel free to comment below anytime that you have a question that you have about slow living, or you have a question for me about how to move to France or live slower. Definitely leave a comment below in the videos, and I will make a video on that in time. Alright, next up we have Vicky Dubois on Instagram DM said, what if my field of work does not follow slow living? Adapting slow living would be very difficult with my 9-to-5 job. Okay, is slow living simply not for me? Not at all. You can have a 9-to-5. You can work 60 hours a week and still live a slow lifestyle. You can still live in a big city and have that hustle work environment and still live slowly. I made a video about how to live slowly while working a 9-to-5 in a big city. I recommend checking out that video. I'll put a card here so you can see that video next. Slow living is really about living mindfully and living with intention and pausing and noticing the simple joys and appreciating the little things in your life more frequently so that you can feel more joyful and more just appreciative about your life. The work that you're doing, do you really love it? Is it fuel to your soul? Is it lighting you up? If you're loving it, you are exactly where you're meant to be. And you can absolutely take time every day in your work schedule, in your busy work schedule, to pause and be deliberate with each thing that you're doing. when you're doing those tasks, all those big tasks, you know, you can pause and enjoy it. You can be appreciative. You can think about how, oh, I really like the smell of the fresh paper out of the printer. I love writing with a pen. I love responding to people. I love my coworkers. I love getting to hang out and socialize with people at work every day. It's such a blessing. You can find small moments in your busy workday to enjoy it more. And I recommend checking out that video about slow living in a city with a 9-to-5 job, because I share lots of practical tips that you could do to add more slow and deliberate habits into your everyday work routine. So check out that video. All right, we have a question from Saruthi Partha. She says, are you religious? No, I'm not religious. Am I religious? No, I wouldn't say I am. I would say I have a very deep connection with the energetics of this universe, because that's what we are. We're energy. One of my favorite podcast hosts, she once said, I can meet you anywhere between Catholicism and crystals, and I very much relate and resonate with that. I love going to Christian church services. I love reading the Bible, but I wouldn't consider myself Christian. I have a lot of the same values that a lot of different religions hold. And so I do consider myself very in love with religion and spirituality, both of them, but I don't put myself in a box. I think that really has to do with binary thinking and, you know, being in one category or the other, where I'm a swirling mix of gray. I have a mix of lots of different religions and lots of different spiritual principles and my own personal values and what I connect with. In regards to religion, I think there is this unifying thread that links all of religion together. Religion is really based on several universal truths: love, compassion, acceptance, forgiveness. These are all things that I really hold and to be very true within myself and the values that I hold. And a lot of these universal truths are in many religions. So I don't know, something I have to think about. Do I consider myself religious or spiritual? I don't know. I think I'm still working out with the words identified with those concepts and if I still identify with them. Meg loves to sleep. Love your username. I love to sleep too. Is that your real name, by the way? Oh, anyway, I love it. It's so cool. Is there a place in France that you would recommend to live? I've been thinking of moving to Paris, but it doesn't feel like home to me. Yeah. Strasbourg. Strasbourg is an amazing city. Been here 2 years. It is a city, so there's tons of stuff to do. Lots of restaurants, lots of culture, lots of different ethnic foods, bookstores, gallery openings, museums, nightlife. The nightlife here is amazing. There's so much to do here in Strasbourg, but at the same time, there's a lot of expats. Like, this is a major expat hub. There's a lot of immigrants that live here. It's very multicultural in Strasbourg, so I really recommend checking out Strasbourg. It's where, you know, Parliament is here. You know, really, it's the center of Europe in terms of politics and economics with the EU here. So it is such a great city. You can meet people very easily in Strasbourg with the Facebook groups, and there's Americans in Alsace group, and it's also just very relaxing. Like, Strasbourg is a very relaxed, slow, laid-back city. So you get the best of both worlds. You get to live this slow, relaxed lifestyle, but at the same time, you don't miss out on all the things that you would miss out on if you didn't live in a city. Also, Meg, I would really check out astro.com to check out your astrocartography map. If you go to astro.com, make a free account, and then swipe all the way down to the bottom of the screen where it says Astro Click Travel. Put in your birth date information, like your natal chart, like the time you were born, where exactly you were born, the date, the year, all that stuff. And you're gonna find a map that is only your map. And it's gonna have all these lines going through your map of the world, different colors, and they each symbolize something different, the kind of energy that you're gonna feel in that location of the world. If you wanna move, if you wanna travel somewhere, check out your astrocartography map. It's free to look at. You just go on astro.com, click Astro, click Travel, and you can see your personal map in the world and what the different energies of the different places in the world will give you and offer you. It's rung true for me so many times. Every time I travel somewhere, it's been right on point. Every time I've moved to a different place, the energy of that line has been right on point, and it's crazy. It's really, really interesting. So I recommend checking that out. Joe says, my question is, oh, maybe there's a wedding in that church cathedral right now. I wonder if they just finished. If so, it's gonna be like a long 10 minutes of bells, so I'm sorry about that. We may have to move locations. But Joe says, do you see yourself in what you're doing as art? Yeah, totally. Anything visual that I get in my head and then I make it into a tangible physical thing in the world, it's totally art. Writing, dance, sculpture, music, mosaics, choreography, all of it, filmmaking, photography, it's all art. Writing is art, all of it's art. You're making something that you get from your mind and you're turning it into something tangible, and I think all of that is definitely art. All right, friends, we're gonna have to end here because this is so French. That's the end of this Q&A. Thank you so much for all your questions. I really appreciate it, and I just want to say thank you so much for the support and the kindness and the light that you have been sharing with me in the comments. You know, I've always been afraid to get on YouTube and to talk on YouTube, and because I was always afraid of the criticism and backlash. I don't know. I just feel like my intention with the Simple Joys channel was different, and because my intention was different, the energy I've been attracting into this space has been nothing but light and kindness and compassion and love, and thank you. Thank you for your comments. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments below what you think, if there was something that I didn't answer that you want me to answer next time. I am going to make several videos, in-depth videos, going into many of the questions that you guys have asked, but this video I'm just barely skimming the surface, and I'll go deeper in solo videos in the future. So without further ado, have a magical day, my friends, and I will see you next week here on The Simple Joys.